Welcome to the grand state of Texas. Everything here is big. We're in Houston, and right behind us is Reliant Stadium for Monster Energy AMA Supercross and FAM World Championship. Jason Wagon and Jim Holly here, and Jim, we talk about how big things are here in Texas. Reliant Stadium, one of the biggest buildings we go to all year, and it even dwarfs the old Astrodome, which is still up next door. That's where you used to race, and that was known as the big place.
Yeah, I remember the first time coming to Houston to race in the Astrodome. I thought, wow, this is incredible. But you know what? You look at Reliant Stadium and you go, can they get any bigger?
I know. Yeah.
It's a beautiful stadium inside. The guys like racing here because of the fact that the dirt's real perfect. It's not going to get hard and dry. It's not going to get too many ruts. It's going to be a great track tonight here in Houston.
Which sets the scene for a great race tonight, because we had great racing actually in San Diego back in California last week. If you got to watch the HD broadcast on CBS, you saw it was really, really close. Chad Reed went down on lap 12, and Andrew Short, Tim Ferry, Davey Millsaps, they gave him everything he could handle.
Yeah, he made it interesting on that lap 12, but the thing that I noticed more about that race was the beginning of the race when Millsap said, hey, I'm not going to do what Kevin Windham did. I want to lead this thing in those first couple, and they made it interesting. A lot of great passing on Chad Reed and Millsaps. Like you said, Short was in there. It was just a good battle. At one point, Ferry was even in there towards the end of the race. All four of those riders were battling for that lead.
Yeah, it was an awesome race, and now you got to wonder. Chad Reed has been saying that there's something wrong with him. It's not the bike, it's not the team. He's just got to work on a few little things. But meanwhile, while he's struggling a little bit, the competition is seeing him, and he's not blowing these guys out every week. So is he going to turn it around, or are they going to build more confidence and get even closer?
You know, I think they're going to build more confidence, and especially a guy like Kevin Windham. This is basically his hometown race. He designed the track here in Houston. He's the one that's got that thing on his mind. He designed it. He should be able to step it up. But the other thing, that people forget is, even though Chad Reed has a 35-point lead, that's nothing. Anything can happen to Reed, like we saw last weekend, a bike DNF, and then it's a whole different championship after that.
Yeah, he had the lead. He said he lost some concentration. He went down. If you go down, even a small little crash like that, you can knock a lever off. You can do damage, and it could be over.
Well, and the other thing about, you mentioned a lever, I mean, think about if you stall the bike. A lot of these guys that we see going down, they're able to keep that bike running. And that was a problem a few weeks ago for Jason Lawrence when he couldn't get his bike restarted at Anaheim. Finally he did, but got 0 points. So, I mean, it's not only a lever, it's other things. You don't want to stall that motorcycle, because then you got to try to find neutral without the clutch. To pull the clutch in and get it in neutral, because that's the easiest way to start these four-strokes. So make sure that bike is in neutral before you fire it.
Now, you mentioned Jason Lawrence. Ever since that race in Anaheim where he couldn't get the bike started, he has been unstoppable, and he's led just about every single lap in the lights class. And Ryan Dungey, who we thought was pretty much assured this championship, has now lost the points lead. So this is a big showdown tonight.
It is. It's real critical because it could go either way. It could go for Dungey on Suzuki, or it could go for Lawrence on Yamaha, and meaning the fact that after this race, there is a long break until April 29th, where the final round will be up in Seattle. So it could go either way. Dungey has to step it up and try to win this thing and make it interesting going into Seattle. But, I mean, it's interesting either way you slice that pie. It's not over until you get to Seattle.
Yeah, and that's what makes it tough. We mentioned it last week. It's like when they call a timeout before kicking a field goal to ice the guys down. They're going to have 2 months to think about one race to settle this championship, depending on what happens here in Houston. It should be a great show. Stay tuned to us all afternoon here on supercrossonline.com, and, of course, our webcast coming to you live tonight from the website as well. We'll have a lot more updates today, so stay tuned.